Welcome to the best movie and TV news of the week. This time featuring these topics. We finally have an update on Jim Carrey in Sonic 4 and on the cast of A Quiet Place 3. Trailers for Dune 3 and Brand New Day are taking the internet by storm. We've also got the latest scoop on Lilo Stitch 2 and The Incredibles 3. Plus, there's exciting news about the new Firefly series and a unique project from Steven Spielberg. That and much more right now in the KinoCheck News. Great news about A Quiet Place 3. Director John Krasinski shared an update on the cast of the horror thriller via social media. Fans of the first two films have a reason to breathe a sigh of relief. The core of the Abbott family remains intact. Emily Blunt returns to her role as Mother Evelyn, joined by her on-screen children Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe. Oscar winner Cillian Murphy is also on board. He's reprising his role from Part 2. There are also some notable new additions. Jack O'Connell joins the team, having recently made a splash in the acclaimed vampire film Sinners and 28 years later The Bone Temple. He's joined by Jason Clarke and Katie O'Brien. Filming is set to begin this spring in New York. A Quiet Place 3 hits theaters on July 30th, 2027. This is the news Sonic fans want to hear. Jim Carrey is returning for Part 4. That's according to Hollywood insider Daniel Richtman. And that's not all. He's reportedly already filming the first scenes for the new sequel. In Sonic 3, the iconic villain underwent a massive transformation and ultimately chose to save countless lives instead of destroying them. He sacrificed himself and apparently died at a massive explosion. It remains to be seen in what form Dr. Eggman will return for in Sonic 4. For many fans, one thing was certain. A Sonic movie without Jim Carrey would be a huge disappointment. So now we'll get to see the lovable villain again after all. He'll be joined by cult favorites like Amy Rose and Metal Sonic. And then there's the mysterious role played by Ben Kingsley. It's still unclear who he'll portray in the new Sonic movie. We'll all find out at the latest when the film hits theaters on March 19th, 2027. There's no question about it, this week was a real treat for fans of big trailers. On Tuesday, the first teaser for Dune 3 was released and gave goosebumps to people worldwide. The spectacular visuals and Hans Zimmer's fantastic soundtrack completely blew us away, and the community felt exactly the same way. Your comments are proving it. The hype is real. We're eagerly looking forward to Doomsday in December, when Dune 3 hits theaters alongside Doomsday. But no matter who ends up drawing more viewers, our movie ticket to Arrakis is already reserved. And as soon as we had our fill of the Dune 3 trailer, the second big reveal followed on Wednesday. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Finally, a first look at Peter Parker's new adventures in a world that has forgotten about him, including the Punisher, Bruce Banner, and Scorpion. Only Sadie Sink's role remains unclear. The video's view count and the direct poll show even Dune doesn't stand a chance against Spider-Man. You're absolutely thrilled, especially by the many details found in the trailer. A summer box office hit is as good as guaranteed. Speaking of blockbusters, we've got a hot-off-the-press preview of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 this week. You'll find out everything about the latest plans for the Speedy Hedgehog and why this movie absolutely belongs on your watch list. You can find it, along with all the latest trailers, right here in the KinoCheck app. Just download it for free and you'll always be up to date. Big news on Lilo Stitch 2 and The Incredibles 3. We finally know the release dates. The live-action adaptation of Lilo and Stitch was one of the most successful films of 2025 worldwide, so a sequel was all but guaranteed. However, it remains to be seen whether it'll follow up the storyline of the second animated film. Either way, fans will have to wait quite a while. Lilo and Stitch 2 is set to be released a full 3 years after the first film, with the theatrical release date of May 26, 2028. In the meantime, animation fans are eagerly awaiting Pixar's The Incredibles 3. This time, Peter's son is taking the lead. Among other projects, he directed the film Elemental. The Incredibles 3 will also require a bit of patience. The long-awaited sequel hits theaters on June 16, 2028, 10 years after the second installment. Which film are you more excited about? The live-action sequel to Lilo and Stitch, or the return of the animated superhero family? Tell us your favorite in the comments. The Housemaid starring Sydney Sweeney has grossed nearly $400 million. Now, Director Paul Feig has revealed that filming for The Housemaid 2 will begin as early as this fall. The book and movie title is The Housemaid's Secret. Of course, Sydney Sweeney will return in the lead role. Michelle Gellar is also back. Amanda Seyfried, however, will only make a brief guest appearance. The film adaptation of the 3-part book series generated massive hype even before production began. No wonder. Freida McFadden's novel has sold over 4.5 million copies and been translated into 40 languages. So the odds are good that sooner or later we can also expect Part 3. The Housemaid is watching. The cult series Firefly is coming back. Lead actor Nathan Fillion revealed this at AwesomeCon in Washington, D.C. But here's the catch. It won't be a live-action series. Instead, the crew is returning in animated form. Still, the original cast is on board as voice actors for the beloved space heroes. Fans have been speculating for days about a possible return of Firefly. The reason? Nathan Fillion had posted a series of Instagram videos full of hints with his co-stars. The new adventures are set to take place between the original 2002 series and the movie sequel Serenity. Firefly creator Joss Whedon is not involved. What do you think? Can an animated series do justice to the classic? We're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. The popular Payday series is being adapted into a film. In the games, players team up to carry out increasingly dangerous heists, ranging from simple break-ins to highly complex bank robberies. Vice Studios has now secured the rights for film and television adaptations. And President Amy Powell says, Payday has a world that extends far beyond the game itself. Behind the masks lies a mythology, and the characters have a real story that is incredibly exciting to explore. Since 2011, the 3 installments of the shooter series have built a community of more than 50 million players and generated over $400 million in revenue. It's not yet known whether we can expect a Payday movie or a series, but we'll keep you posted. Steven Spielberg's sci-fi thriller Disclosure Day is hitting the theaters soon, but his next film is already in the works, and it's going to be something truly special. The master director is venturing into uncharted territory. On the podcast The Big Picture, he revealed it's going to be a Western. There will be horses, there will be guns, there won't be any cliches. I can tell you that. Spielberg has mentioned several times that he'd like to make a Western someday, but isn't ready for it yet. He's considered a great admirer of John Ford and rather watches the famous Western director's old classics before watching his own productions. This project shows that even at 79, Spielberg still has creative ambitions. We're excited to see what the old master will deliver. Latest news on the sequel to Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The film The Adventures of Cliff Booth centers on the same-named stuntman who's once again portrayed by Brad Pitt. The screenplay is once more by Tarantino, though this time the director is David Fincher, and it seems the release date has now been revealed. But there's a catch. The release window for the Netflix film was reportedly mentioned in an article by the industry magazine Deadline, but the date is no longer listed there. Specifically, it was stated that The Adventures of Cliff Booth is set to premiere in August 2026. So it's quite possible that this information wasn't intended for the public and was therefore removed from the article. But it's also conceivable that it was simply a mistake. Nevertheless, the release date would make sense. Filming was already completed in December 2025, and a first trailer aired during the Super Bowl in February. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot has been canceled. Buffy star Sarah Michelle Gellar has announced that the planned pilot has been put on hold. On Instagram, she explained, "I wanted you to hear it from me. Unfortunately, Hulu has decided not to move forward with Buffy New Sunnydale." In the reboot, Ryan Kira Armstrong was set to play the aspiring vampire slayer Nova. Sarah Michelle Gellar would have taken the role of her mentor, Buffy. Oscar winner director Chloe Zhao was already on board as well. Now, although Hulu has pulled the plug on this project, the streaming service is reportedly still interested in a reboot of the franchise. We're curious to see what awaits us in the next attempt. Which news stories did you like the most? And what was the biggest disappointment? We'd love to hear your feedback, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoy the format. Thanks for your support, and see you next time for some more news. Your KinoCheck team. And in case you missed it, here's more news that is sure to pique your interest. New casting rumors surrounding The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. According to insider reports, talks with a possible new actor to play Aragorn are now underway. But that's not all. According to the reports, a real Hollywood star could also be joining the cast. The conversations are reportedly centered on two main characters in the film. Leo Woodall could become the possible successor to Viggo Mortensen. The actor is known for his role in the second season of the hit series The White Lotus, among other things. Aragorn will likely play a central role in the hunt for Gollum. However, fans will apparently have to get used to a new cast member. And then there's the second name currently circulating for the female lead role, Anya Taylor-Joy. Exactly what role this could be is not yet known. Apparently, fans are speculating that she'll portray an elf. Taylor-Joy's facial features would be a perfect fit. In addition, Kate Winslet is currently being considered as a possible actress for the new film. The actress made her screen debut in Peter Jackson's Heavenly Creatures in 1994. Her role in the next Lord of the Rings film is also uncertain. Speculation revolves around Aragorn's mother, among others. We'll find out whether the actors will actually be cast when the film is released. The Hunt for Gollum is set to hit theaters on December 16th, 2027. Finally, an update on the next Minecraft movie. According to industry insider Daniel Richtman, a certain star is currently in talks for a new role in Part 2. That star is actress Joey King, who's best known for her role in the Kissing Booth movies. Could she perhaps take on the role of Alex, who was teased at the end of Part 1? There's still no official confirmation about the cast of the sequel. However, we assume that many familiar faces from the first film will be back, including Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and Emma Myers. Jared Hess will once again direct a Minecraft movie too. The film is scheduled to be released on July 23, 2027. Pixar is launching a major film offensive. At the forefront is a new film based on Monsters, Inc. This was revealed by Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. Monsters, Inc. 3 is part of a comprehensive production strategy that focuses on both established franchises and new ideas. Other sequels include The Incredibles 3, Toy Story 5, and a sequel to Coco in 2029. New films include the project Ono Ghost Market. It deals with Asian myths about supernatural bazaars where the living and the dead interact. The animated film Gato is also in the works. The story of a thieving cat in Venice is characterized by visuals reminiscent of hand-painted artwork. Which of the announced Pixar projects are you most looking forward to?